Hi, Dale.
Hello, Vicki. First,
Mhm.
I want to say hello, welcome to Jane Ain't Done Yet, Women with Cool Stuff Left to Do. Today's topic is catastrophizing. So, catastrophizing is a term from the world of psychological research,
Mhm.
and we are delving into that today. And travel, but I'm here in Connecticut, so happy, even though I had my trip delayed because I positively love a good snowstorm, and that's what's happening in the Northeast right now. But where am I going with this? We can sometimes just go to worst case scenario and of what we imagine is going to happen when we feel like something is going wrong. And we often can do that with travel. And I think
Yes.
one of the reasons we can often do that is there's a lot of factors out of our control. And the more out of control we feel, the more nervous we get. And recently, my sister was here visiting from New Mexico, and they were flying out, and there was some snow. And that morning, I went over where she had rented a little place and was lying in this bed in this sweet little cabin. And she was so nervous because of the weather and that their plane had already been delayed. And that would mean they wouldn't make their connection in Atlanta. And her husband the next day needed to have blood tests for his surgery the following day. These are important things, right? It
Yes.
wasn't just the convenience of wanting
Right.
an easy day of travel. However, she didn't know what she worried would occur if that was going to be the story that would play out. And
Mhm.
I reminded her of that. I was like, you are getting, because, she was already what if, and then the surgery can't,
Got ahead of herself.
yes, which we all do. So I'm just using her as an example. And I could call her out on it because I've done that. I do that.
Yeah.
And if we can, in that moment, when things seem to be going off track and sometimes feel like being derailed, if we can just press the pause button or the reset and remind ourselves we actually don't know how it's going to play out.
Hmm.
Maybe it'll be just as we wish. Maybe it'll be even better
Sometimes
than
it
we
happens.
wish.
Yes.
And maybe it will be pretty bad. But we also don't know the true ending of the pretty bad.
Yes. It could end up being pretty good.
Let's play out her scenario. And his surgery did have to get canceled because he didn't get the blood test. Maybe that day the surgeon was a little off and it was
Yep.
better.
You
Like
never
there's
know.
things we don't even know that maybe in the end it's good that
Yes.
something that appeared to be bad happened.
Okay.
But I'm gonna just let me finish my sister
Okay. Because
story.
I've said
Then
4 words
I know,
to,
I know, I know, I
you're
know.
like wound up from the
I am wound
snowstorm.
up. I am wound up. Just let me finish the sister story. So she did calm down a bit when she got to the airport. She conveyed her worry. She said she could not have had a nicer agent at the desk. And the woman helped her. She put her towards the front of the plane with her husband. So they were first off their plane. Yes, they had to do the good old sprint to the gate for the connection, but they made their flight. Yeah, yeah. Now you take it away and I'll be quiet.
I will. So, the reason this topic came to mind is I have a dear friend who lives in this. If I imagine the worst thing that can happen, it won't. And this is a daily thing for her.
Mm,
If I can imagine the worst thing that happened, well, the first time she told me this,
mm,
I
mm,
thought, is that true? Is that a trick? Like, is this something I can
mm,
I can
mm,
trick the universe? So if I think of the worst possible thing, then it won't happen.
mm,
Time passed, I thought that's not a great way to
mm,
live.
mm,
And that's brought in the catastrophizing, which is the mind jumps to the worst case scenario because
mm,
it's your subconscious survivor mechanism
mm,
that's preparing for some kind of potential threat.
mm.
So whether that's from your trauma from childhood or just life experiences,
Or primal response.
primal evolution shields you from
Mm,
disappointment. Maybe you have anxiety.
mhm,
Maybe your brain's wired with fight or flight, and maybe that's something that's very important to you. I have to take care of this, or everything goes wrong. Perfectionism is also one of those things where people can catastrophize. It's sort of an illogical reality. So, what can you do about it? How can you combat it? Being mindful, trying to stay in the moment, deep breathing techniques, meditation, which you practice on a regular basis.
Tell me, like deep breathing, do you have any particular ones?
Well, I do the and then you hold it, you count for 4, and then you release. And I used to do that with my classroom. You do, I think it's a 4-3-7, where you're breathing deep, you hold it, and then you release, and you're just focusing on that.
Neurologically, that settles the nervous
Yeah.
system.
And if you do this with the vagus nerve, it's supposed to calm you.
Hmm.
hmm You can try thought stopping. If you feel you're going down this negative tunnel, stop. Don't go there. Don't imagine the worst.
My daughter used to say when she was little, something like, don't fall in the well and dwell, or you're dwelling, you're going to fall in the well.
And just self-care, regular exercise, having a proper diet,
That's
sleep.
proactive.
Yes, proactive. So that's what we want to give our Janes out there, to stay focused, to try to stay in, I don't want to say positive mindset, but as you're trying to tackle things and you're trying to move on to the next goal, the next thing that you want to accomplish, don't beat yourself up.
So there's a few things that you were saying. One, going back to thought stopping, is one way that has helped me with that is to say to myself, if I'm going to make up something bad, why don't I make up a good ending or a good next consequence? You know, if you're making stuff up, why not make up good stuff?
Right.
And I liked how you said the Janes out there, because if you're catastrophizing as you're hitting a roadblock or you get thrown a curveball, I'm throwing in some different analogies or metaphors, that's going to take energy. It's going to discourage you and might even throw you off course or out of the ball game. Anything you want to add or say, or final words?
Don't imagine the worst thing that can happen. Imagine the best thing that can happen.
See, and even from saying that, your whole face lit up. Okay, just think about the chemical little hits you got and how that then plays out. Because then you're like a little juiced. You're going to maybe go do that thing. And then that person's going to pick up the phone you've been trying to get.
Well, I imagine like a random person watching this thinking, I'm going to win the lottery. Little mind vacation. That's what I did.
Yeah, it's like a vacation and it's restful, right? To go to the place of, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out.
Yeah. I think it takes more energy to envision the positive, because it's easy to go, well, it's not going to happen for me.
I don't think it takes more energy. It's a habit I've had to build. Didn't come automatically. I've had to learn how to switch it over.
Maybe that's what I meant. It's easier if that's what you've always known.
Well, look, we do have a negativity bias in our brains.
Yes, we do.
And yeah,
There's more weight to negative experiences than positive ones.
Yeah, and
that's evolutionary.
Again, you talked about primal instincts, right? We're scanning that landscape for the tiger.
Yeah, so let's imagine the best thing.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye, Janes.